Hello everyone, welcome to day 22 of the 30-day challenge where we redesign some thumbnails which look complex to make. So today's thumbnail is from Home Alone and we haven't downloaded any assets for this because I didn't find any. So we are going to rely on completely by tracing these images. Okay, so let's rename this as day 22 and let me draw two rectangles. First one should something like this and the second one should be a way little bigger than this. Okay, and let's color them. And let's color this green. And now for these two guys, I'll have to make them a bit shorter. Let's duplicate this rectangle and let's make it like this. 400. Let's make it 400 by 2, which is 200. And let's duplicate it. Let's change the fill to this color. And now we have this line, right? We can draw that line using trial and error using the pencil tool. We'll just delete this one. Anyways, we can copy this here. So let's take the pen tool and start drawing. I'll try to draw a straight line. Okay, that was not straight. Okay, so this is the line we have got. Let me make a copy of it. And let's just change its orientation to something like this. And I'll keep it here. I'll keep this one line here. Let me change the stroke to white. Okay, let me copy this again. First of all, I'll copy this rectangle over to here. And let's change its orientation once again so that these two lines look random. As well as let me change this one. Okay, let me move them here somewhere. Okay, so the lines are ready too. And by using a single line, we have made 4 lines which look random. Like if someone doesn't notice us, then these lines are actually random. Okay. So now let's first add a text, which is we can write design this. Okay. And let's increase the size to 128 and let's make it lay fair. Okay. And I'll move this over to here. And we can increase the size a bit more. And I can change the fill to white. And we can increase the size a bit more again. 190. Let's center this. Okay. So now design this and these strokes are ready. Let me unselect these rectangles and we can change the colors. Okay, so these 4 vectors are not inside this. Now they are inside. Now let's group them and let's change the selection color to this, but to a lighter shade of this brown. Okay. Okay. Now we can draw this thing, I think so. So for that, let's take the pen tool and draw a random point, which looks like this. Let's draw a point again. And now let's just draw this. Okay. Now I'll increase the weight to 4. And we have this thing ready. Let's add it here inside our frame and change the fill to this one's color. Let's duplicate it and increase the sizes a bit. And I'll group them and make them to the center. Now we have the left portion of the thumbnail ready. Only this part is remaining. For that, what I'll do is I'll just make it to the size of this frame, and we will trace it using the pen tool. Okay. So first we will trace the whole chair. Let's start tracing from here. Here, when you're here, and something like this. We can make it something like this. Now we can just turn it around and curve it. Let's curve this a bit too. And we can curve this one too. And I think we have our chair ready. Let's add a fill. And now let's make this chair's leg. Okay. Let's make it like this. Let's make another one. Let's make this one. And let's make this guy. Okay, so this guy, this is actually the man's leg, I think so. So we can trace it something like this. Now we have to trace the guy. So we can trace it too. Let's trace it. And let's make this man a bit more curved. And I think since this guy will be behind this chair, we can bring it somewhere over here to this chair. And then up to here. Okay, so we have traced, I think, everything except this cloud. Now let's trace the cloud. And this cloud will be behind this guy. So we can trace it like this. You guys might be thinking what I'm doing. I'll let you know within a few seconds. So now I'll just curve these ones so that it looks like smokes. Okay? So now this is a smoke cloud. This is a smoke cloud. This one's a smoke cloud. This one's this thing. This thing becomes the cloud. And this thing becomes the cloud. This will be like this, and this will be like this. This will be like this, and this will go here. Now the cloud is ready too, and it will be behind the guy. So we have no issue at all. Let me change the fill from this to this. And let's change the fill of this cloud. First of all, let me move this, and let's change the fill of this cloud now. This to this. Okay. And make it to the back of the man. And now let's group all of this. And let's pull this inside our frame. Now this guy is at the center. And our thumbnail is almost ready. But since this kind of noise is there in this whole thumbnail, so we can introduce a noise too by clicking our frame. And let's go to effect section. Figma has introduced 2 to 3 new things. There's glass as well as there's noise. So we can click noise, and we are getting noise over here. We should not tweak anything because this looks good. And just one last thing, let's remove the stroke of this and remove the stroke of this. Okay. And our thumbnail is ready. Did you guys like it? If you have anything to say, please comment, please share it with your friends, and subscribe to Create a Sauce. More videos are coming soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.